2 tickets to paradise. Does Florida Athletic Director Jeremy Foley leave with some extra baggage after causing quite the ruckus in northern Colorado last night? Welcome to the last Wednesday night CTV newscast. I'm Patrick Enslow.
And I'm Brynn Carman. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
There's still a ton of sports news going on today as we all wait for Coach Mac's decision. This was the scene outside Jim McElwain's house last night after members of Northern Colorado and Denver media followed the Florida Athletic Director Jim Foley from the Fort Collins-Loveland Airport. Earlier today, Foley left Fort Collins without McElwain. Currently, no contract has been signed, but President Tony Frank will have the final say on McElwain's $7.5 million buyout. That's a lot of cash, Brynn.
So much, and it's crazy to see all those people following him to his house.
I know, it's almost like the paparazzi, you know, getting out those big lens, zooming in. There were some rumors people were actually taking photos inside of his house. I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff.
It's definitely crazy.
Yeah, big news. Attracting all the big outlets, too, so it'll...
Now he can't be in a bowl game, as you said earlier.
Yeah, if he leaves, he will not coach them in a bowl game, so it'll be very interesting. They'll probably have the assistant coach or the offensive coordinator step up in that position. So
That'll be an adjustment for the Rams as they've had such a great season under him.
Yeah, it'll be really a bummer. Hopefully they can finish strong, you know, for the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
The on-campus stadium decision is this Friday. Members of the Development and Transportation Department presented a plan to the City Council regarding the impact the stadium will have on the city. A major point of discussion was how the stadium will affect traffic and parking. The study was estimated that 3,000 more parking spaces would be needed to off-campus. The largest projected cost would come from public transportation and infrastructure. This could cost the city up to $22 million. President Tony Frank and CSU faithful are looking for a major Christmas gift this holiday season in the form of an on-campus stadium. Before Thanksgiving break, Frank officially endorsed an on-campus stadium. With lots of questions surrounding Hughes Stadium, CTV was able to get an inside look at the current state of Hughes. Hughes Stadium, a hot topic of discussion in northern Colorado, but not because of the football that is being played inside of it. With the looming decision of an on-campus stadium in December, the question has become renovate Hughes or build an on-campus stadium. With that in the back of many people's minds, CSU officials decided to take Fort Collins citizens and students on tours to help better educate the public on the current state of Hughes Stadium.
All of a sudden it became a better idea once we started leading a few tours. Then we found out that they were very useful and people enjoyed them and found them productive.
The 45-year-old stadium received its first renovations in 2006. These renovations came after a $15.2 million donation from Pat Stryker. Tour participants were shown these renovations along with glaring maintenance issues that still remain.
We have, components that are subject to the weather and they're starting to fail and spall off on the concrete. We still have these old boilers, we still have pipes buried in grassy berms, and we have old pipes buried underneath the structure. So when you look at it all together, really these components need to be replaced at the end of their life, and we're at that point.
Locker room renovations were also discussed due to the current cramped quarters in the south end zone. Ceilings in certain parts of the stadium have been replaced due to asbestos. Like most projects, though, finding funding is the toughest part.
Yeah, as a facilities director, it pains me to ask for money for a facility that's used 6 times a year, as opposed to the academic buildings and the other facilities on main campus that have, used daily.
Fort Collins resident Anita Rite feels Hughes does need a facelift, but feels renovations are more practical than an on-campus stadium.
It can be done. It's a beautiful setting. The parking is here. You don't have ingress and egress issues like you do with West Prospect, East Prospect. The busiest part of Fort Collins is where they want to put it, and that would create tremendous issues with safety and congestion and traffic gridlock and on and on.
For CTV News, I'm Patrick Enslow. The decision for an on-campus stadium will be made by the CSU Board of Governors this Friday in Denver.
A 5th arrest was made in connection to the murder of 28-year-old Andrea Bartmas. 21-year-old Chatney McCaffrey Pickett was arrested and booked in the Larimer County Jail on allegations of first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder. The 4 others who were arrested are Michael Benson, Patrick Hanyon, Jose Rosano, and Kimberly Ginn. The ages of these people arrested range from 21 to 51. Sheriff Smith released a statement saying this case has been a complicated puzzle for investigators to piece together. If you have any information about this case, please call investigator Rita Servin at 970-498-5167. And in other news, the university has responded to former legal service attorney Robert Lowry's resignation letter. Lowry resigned on Monday because he believed the CSU Police Department was acting unlawfully and violated the Fourth Amendment. The university has responded saying they have been reviewing the concerns about bike enforcement on campus. They reiterated that students who work for the police department to identify themselves as campus service officers and not police officers. They are not allowed to hand out tickets. They must call a certified officer if someone is not cooperating with them.
A car accident on I-25 near Johnstown late Monday night. They've been identified as 21-year-old Devin Gomez and 14-year-old Mercedes Parker. They died at the scene of the crash. The two other passengers were in the car but survived the crash. The Ford Explorer was traveling southbound when it veered left and rolled 2 times. Austin Harley is in the Weather Center now.
Austin, it's been so nice out these last few days. Are these temps going to stay?
Well, Patrick and Brynn, I know that it has been very nice over the last few days, and like you said, we are hoping that they'll stick out, but we have a special weather phenomenon on the way possibly, and Elizabeth Prasse has a little bit more on that. Let's go outside.
Hey Austin, it's currently 32 degrees outside. We're hovering right at that freezing mark, and this is coming after a relatively cold November. Now for December, we are seeing temperatures above average with highs in the 50s these next few days. As of last week, we are under an El Nino watch, which means there is a possibility of El Nino forming this winter. What El Nino is the warming of the ocean temperatures in the Pacific, and what it means for us here in the United States is a cooler and wetter winter in the south and a warmer and drier winter in the north. Now El Nino typically forms around Christmas time, which is where its name is derived from, because El Nino means the Christ child in Spanish. It'll be interesting to see in the spring if El Nino really forms, and we will see a cooler and wetter January, February, and March. So be prepared. It will be interesting to see if we have a white Christmas or not. Austin, how are things looking this next week?
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. It'll be interesting to see how El Nino plays out this winter. Right now outside, not anything to worry about with the El Nino currently, just a little bit of activity out on campus tonight, not much going on. Otherwise, let's take a look at what we saw earlier today. A little bit cooler than what we've had over these last few days. Still above normal though. Our average was 43. We hit 46 today. So that was in thanks to all of these thick cloud cover that stuck around for a lot of the day. Thanks to PAISSTAT who took this picture at Horsetooth Reservoir. We had another person send in a picture of their dog today in Fort Collins. So just a good day to be out and about today, running around with your pet or otherwise. It was pretty comfortable this afternoon, and we're going to expect those temperatures to continue into this evening as well. 29 degrees right now, partly cloudy skies, 26 with the wind chill. That's thanks to that 3-mile-per-hour wind from the northwest. Here's what you can expect over the next few hours. We're going to see temperatures continue to move towards the lower 20s. So we're starting right now at 29, partly cloudy, and we're going to continue those somewhat cloudy conditions until about midnight, dropping to 26 degrees. So a fairly mild night for this time of year. In fact, a lot of our weather, Patrick and Brynn, has been pretty mild.
It has been.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a real warm Thanksgiving too, almost reaching 70.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was certainly, it's been very warm. Even with that little cold snap at the beginning of the month, we're still going to end up about average for this month.
So interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it wasn't even too crazy. No real crazy storms or anything.
No, not yet. We'll watch out for the spring though.
Definitely. Next week is Dead Week, which means the library will be full and coffee shops will be busy with students.
We'll tell you how late the library will be staying open.
And I'll be right back with the rest of your weather forecast. Stay tuned.
The Ramskeller offers a traditional pub menu, 20 beers on tap, and even fresh-to-order pizza coming soon. Stop by Sweet Sensations for a delicious bakery item, espresso, or any other coffee needs you may have.
Hi, welcome to Aspen Grill.
Aspen Grill is a student-operated restaurant located in the University Club. The food court features a number of different restaurants to satisfy your needs between classes.
Welcome back from the break. A pretty nice night out there right now. Temperatures sitting in the upper 20s, about 29 degrees, and just a little bit of activity out on campus tonight. Make sure you grab your jacket if you're heading out tonight. Tomorrow, you're probably not going to need that jacket by the afternoon. Our high for this time of year on average is 43 degrees. We're looking at 52 tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just a couple clouds passing tomorrow. We may see quite a few clouds around noon, but really they shouldn't impact our temperature too much. We might have a little bit of a breeze in the afternoon as well, but really nothing to ruin your day. 52, it's going to be a nice one, so get out and go for a run or just head out and go for a little hike or something. I mean, you're not going to need the warm clothes really either. A t-shirt and jeans will do you for the afternoon, but you'll want a sweatshirt for the morning or the evening hours. Looking towards your satellite imagery, what is bringing us all of that clouds today would be this front right here along these low pressure system. It's actually stalled, so it's just resting right there, and that's why we had all those clouds today. That will move out, and this wonderful high pressure up here will dominate the state, continuing through the rest of the week, and what that means is a lot of sunshine. Let's look at your 5-day forecast. Here's what we're seeing. Maybe not quite as much sunshine as I mentioned on Friday, but certainly going to be very warm. Again, notice the normal high of 43 up in the top right-hand corner here. We're going to continue to see 50s throughout the next week or so and into, as Elizabeth mentioned earlier, next week as well. So very warm, pleasant weather on the way. The spring could be a completely different story, so continue to watch our social media for that. We'll have more on that coming up every other day. So let's check back with Patrick and Brynn.
Thanks, Austin. It's hard to believe, but finals week is in just 2 weeks. The library is preparing for the influx of students who need to study. CTV reporter Kay Bennett is in the library now. Kay?
Thanks, Brynn and Patrick. Well, lately the library has been packed, and it's going to stay that way for the next 2.5 weeks.
The Morgan Library, or home as many of us would call it around finals, has increased its hours. I spoke with Amy Hoseth, the coordinator for on-site services, about these changes.
So we started our extended library hours the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and they run all the way up until the Friday of finals week. And most days, with the exception of a couple of days this coming up weekend, we're open until 2 a.m.
The library also has many resources available for students.
So our study rooms tend to fill up, so you can always come to the help desk and ask to reserve one, and they'll set you up if there's space available. We have a ton of books and databases, obviously, for the last-minute papers and assignments and homework, and you can always schedule an appointment with a research librarian or just come to the help desk and see if one is available if you absolutely get stuck and you need help desperately with the last-minute assignments this time of year.
Well, Rams, make sure that you reserve a study room while they are still available and use those extended study hours to your advantage. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kay. Some super adorable preschoolers got to visit the president of CSU today.
And they sang some pretty great holiday tunes. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Hello, Rams. My name is Sydney Schulz, and I'll be your official Laurie Student Center tour guide. For our first stop, we arrive at the campus information desk in the land grant wall. As we move through the building, we enter the east-to-west corridor, featuring beautiful natural lighting and open architectural design. This is Sydney signing out from your home away from home and Laurie Student Center.
It's the last sports update for this semester, and with that comes good and not so good news for Colorado State sports. The Rams fell this past weekend to the Air Force Falcons in a last-second field goal. This defeat ended the Rams' 9-game winning streak. The Rams now wait on news of a bowl game destination, which will be announced on Sunday, December 7th. 3 CSU seniors have been selected to perform alongside some of the nation's greatest collegiate football players in 2 postseason All-Star games this January. Tackle Ty Sambrio and quarterback Garrett Grayson will be performing in the Reese's Senior Bowl, and Grayson and cornerback Bernard Blake will be performing in the East-West Shrine Game. Alongside these honors, Grayson was named Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. Coach Jim McElwain also racked in the title of Mountain West Coach of the Year, but Fort Collins probably won't be celebrating with him after hearing this news. It's been announced that the University of Florida's athletic director, Jeremy Foley, visited McElwain only yesterday in discussing a new coaching position with the university. Although McElwain's buyout for his contract is $7.5 million, Foley is attempting to negotiate this buyout. This most likely means that CSU will be looking for a new coach for next season. With that being said, volleyball has been given some great news after clinching the Mountain West title 2 weeks ago. Sunday night, Colorado State was selected as a first and second round host for the NCAA tournaments. CSU will face Denver Friday evening in the opening round. To add on to that, senior Deidre Foss was named Mountain West Women's Volleyball Player of the Year this Monday. That's the last sports update I have for this semester, but before we end, I'm going to leave you with a little wrap. Sports are sweet, sports are bad, and I know since we're done you're really sad, but it's okay, it's all right, you know I'll be back next Wednesday night. Just kidding, we'll see you guys next semester. Have a great week, Rams.
Thanks, Olivia. The holiday spirit is in the air, and Dr. Tony Frank was in for some festive celebration this morning from some of the cutest little future Rams we've ever seen.
Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal.
Frosty the Snowman and Jingle Bells were some of the favorite songs the CSU's Early Childhood Center preschoolers sang for Tony Frank. The kiddos even had choreographed dance moves with each song. They were very excited to perform in front of their parents and Frank himself. The CSU president smiled and clapped as the future Little Rams performed. He also said things get a little stressful at the admin building sometimes, and it was nice to have a little escape from that today.
And to all of the parents that are here, I want to say thanks as well. You all, this event really reminds, I think, all of us in the admin building of what we're about at the university and what we're all here for and what it is we're striving for. So thank you for entrusting your most precious possessions to us, and thank you for all that you do and for these wonderful children.
The adorable preschoolers also had a little something special planned to show their Ram pride.
To be a CSU Ram, I said I'm proud. To be a CSU Ram, I said I'm proud.
Gotta love that holiday spirit.
Yeah, start them young, Brynn.
That's all the time we have for you tonight, but before we sign off, we want to show you all the hardworking faces and all the people here at CTV.
Come on over, guys. These shows wouldn't happen without the help of everyone around here, especially Dan, Andy. You gotta love them. But we'll catch you guys next semester, and we'll be back in January.
Thanks so much for watching. Good luck on finals, and from all of us here at CTV, happy holidays!
Gabe,